He does have a main deck Scavenging Ooze. Ooh.
Now the Dark Confident Thoughtseize Vindicate portion of the deck is the black contribution to the main list.
And then on the sideboard, he can cast his Leyline on the board. Actually, it's really, really close to a Maverick deck almost.
I mean, this is Maverick always was kind of close in a certain sense to some of the theory of junk.
Yeah.
Maverick being a little bit more hatey, and this deck not really having the full package of hate that a Maverick deck often would run. It has, what, one Scavenging Ooze,
Sideboard
two
Teague.
Qasali Pride Mage, and a Teague.
Anthony's going to be on the play, so Burn is going to get the start off here.
For a second, looking at Anthony Phoneuf, he kind of looks like Marsh Usury, if you know Marsh.
Oh, Marsh. Yeah. Let's see. Turn 1, Goblin Guide. Exactly what he wants. Let's see.
So for those of you who are just joining us, I'm Adrian Sullivan, joined here by Ari Lax.
Yeah. Might be still resolving mulligans here.
Yeah, and Anthony is on our right here. Anthony is playing a burn deck here. There are no Figure of Destinies in this burn deck. The long, consistent damage that Anthony is running is Goblin Guide. Otherwise, he's trying to be a fast version of burn. Jeff Cosgrove, on the other hand, playing a aggressive build of junk. It has some elements that make it reminiscent of Maverick. It's almost a crossbreed between the two, but it doesn't really have the Maverick-style hate going on that's of easy access. It does have one Scavenging Ooze, though. Turn 1 Goblin Guide reveals a card I did not see. 18 for Jeff Cosgrove. And we have Jeff goes Marsh Flats. Fetching. Remember, both of these players have had the opportunity to see each other's deck lists. Jeff is well aware that his opponent has 4 Price of Progress in his deck. The common number of Price of Progress in the burn deck is 4, for good reason. He gets a dual land here, so that Savannah does represent a potential threat for him later in the game from Price of Progress, but the stability of the mana might just be worth it. We can see the Legion Events sleeves over there on the right. And that is a Savannah Go. Is that a second Goblin Guide? Oh my gosh. 2 Goblin Guides come in. Goblin Guide reveals Sylvan Library. And Goblin Guide reveals Sylvan Library. We're going to see a Swords to Plowshares on one of the Goblin Guides here. Swords to Plowshares gets rid of the Goblin Guide number 2. We've got 22 to 16 for Jeff Cosgrove. Untap. Draw a Sylvan Library. There's 1 Sylvan Library in Jeff Cosgrove's list. And he says go. He is stuck on land. Now remember, there is a reveal from the Goblin Guide, Dark Confidant. That's 3 turns in a row where we have not had a land for Jeff Cosgrove from that Goblin Guide. Swords to Plowshares takes that guy out. So what do you think here? If you're Jeff Cosgrove, you know you're stuck on this this 1 land hand. Just, is this a keeper? He's got the 2 swords.
He does have 2 swords. But that might just not be enough against this burn deck.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a little creature heavy, but he could just bolt Flame Rift you.
Yeah, we've got Keldon Marauders to knock Jeff down to, I want to say 3, 5, I want to say 12?
Let's see.
I might be wrong on that. Riftbolt, Goblin Guide, Fetch Land, and then the
11.
1. There's a Noble Hierarch.
Probably not long for this world. Hellspark Elemental? Yeah, Hellspark Elemental. And attack.
If that Keldon Marauders hits, that's a 2-mana 5 damage spell.
Yep, better
Always
than a
good
Flame
one.
Rift. It does connect. It looks like Jeff is going down to 5 life here. Very rough situation.
If he has a land and a Scavenging Ooze in hand, he can at least
His one
nullify,
Scavenging Ooze.
one Scavenging Ooze. He can at least nullify the damage from that Hellspark Elemental a little bit.
That would definitely keep things in line, but
I mean, he's still
there's
in
a
terrible,
land.
terrible shape.
He has a sword of light and shadow in hand.
There's a mom.
There's a mom and a mystic, probably.
2 mana. Tarmogoyf?
Mystic. He's just kind of sitting here. Well, don't have Flame Rift.
Yep.
Don't have Flame Rift.
Don't have Price of Progress.
Don't have Fire Blast.
Don't have a lot of cards. Don't have Bolt.
Don't have anything. Just all lands, despite the fact that you've been skipping land drops then. Let's see here.
Jite?
Yeah, Batterskull? Maybe prompt him not to throw the burn. The old, man, I'm afraid of Batterskull. I gotta burn your guy. Prompt a mistake.
Well, the Jite with a land can get into the play right away.
Sure.
And Anthony Phoneuf, ready and waiting to try to burn Jeff out. Could be yet another villain from Gotham. And the Keldon Marauders dies.
Jeff
Down
goes
to
to
4
4.
life. Flame Rift, Fire Blast, 2 bolts. Chain. Oh, 1, 2.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't run the Still Had All These. He just finished them off. So, a quick win, 1-0 for Burn. And now we're going to see what happens from the sideboard. Before we get there,
we have trivia for 6 months of premium.
right?
So I'll go ahead with the
Yeah.
trivia question this time.
Yeah. So for those of you who aren't sure how this works, the hashtag SCG Premium, you can see that at the bottom of the screen. That's what you want to be sending your tweet to. We have a trivia question. If you get the correct answer, one lucky winner amongst the correct answers will get 6 free months of Star City Games Premium.
So the question is, on the other side of this matchup, we see this sort of Mud Welder Forge Master deck competing against Elves. And we just watched this Mud deck win quarterfinals against Rug, where it managed to set up a potential double kill.
Right. It was going to get an achievement.
Get an achievement unlocked. What creature was it using to set up the other half of the double kill with its opponent at 1 life? What was the other way it was going to kill them? What creature was going to do it?
Right. So the question is, in our quarterfinal match that we just saw finish, what creature was going to enable the secondary kill for the Mud player in the quarters? He already had the damage coming through. What was the secondary kill source?
What was going to deliver the killing blow?
Yes.
Not the Forge
What was
Master
gonna deliver
that
the
activated
other-
it, but
right.
what was going to come across the field for lethal?
So tweet your answers. SCG Premium is the hashtag. One lucky person will get 6 free months of premium.
Let's take a look here.
And the sideboarding for these two decks, obviously, I think when you look at the burn list, the burn starts out good.
Yeah.
What do they do after board?
Nothing? I think nothing. Maybe a Shattering Spree, but I don't really like boarding in these sort of situational cards to maybe beat a Sword or a Jite. All your main deck cards are pretty good against this deck. Yeah, maybe you just have to board in the sprees, but I'd really, really wish they were like smashed to smithereens or something. But as for the other side, Path to Exile is coming in. I'd probably just board in like Gaddock Teague instead of your just anything other than Dark Confidants that can be a body.
Yeah, I mean, what you might do is just
do anything.
put stuff into play that are just random creatures instead.
Yeah, Dark Confidant just seems very awkward. Thoughtseize seems even more awkward. So Thoughtseize become pass, and you still have to replace some Dark Confidants. Either Sworcanus is probably fine, just sort of slow down their burn.
Yeah, I mean, Path to Exile, I think you bring in to stop an early creature.
So you've got 3 cards you can board in for 3 bobs and 3 creatures, 3 2-drop hate bears, and 3 Path Exiles for 3 Thoughtseize. So that's what I think is going on over there. You're just gonna left with a Bob. I guess you have a Bob in the deck.
So what is kind of cool from your trivia question is that we talked about the idea of achievements earlier in Magic, if they were to ever introduce that, because they're doing a lot of stuff to introduce kind of casual ideas of Magic into the tournament world.
I wouldn't say casual, just sort of like additional, like very sort of. We've seen all these other gaming systems use these systems and sort of
Why not go for
success.
it, right?
Yeah, what's been successful elsewhere? How do we apply that here?
You know, it's kind of funny though, is in that quarterfinal match, his opponent conceded before it would have achieved the achievement. He's like, no, sir. So
yes, it was very unfortunate.
I think that if we ever end up towards an achievement system, which is possible given the way Wizards' trajectory is, I don't know if you actually are able to get achievements without something to stop people from saying, I concede.
I mean, it might just be a fact that it's on a personal level where...
It'd be like, what a jerk, he didn't let me have my achievements.
It might be that it's like, if they get an achievement, nothing bad happens to you, so you have nothing against you other than maybe just being a spiteful human being to not let them get it.
I mean, there's some spiteful human beings out there.
Oh, well, very true, very true. But I'm just saying.
So we have Anthony Phoneuf with Burn on the right, up a game. Jeff Cosgrove with an aggressive junk deck here. We see a Price of Progress in Anthony's hand. Two Price of Progress. Oh,
Turn
man.
1 Bayou. Ooh. Green Sun.
Green Suns for 1.
Dryad
Sorry, for
Arbor.
0, getting the Dryad Arbor.
So on the subject
Build
of,
your own Llanowar Elf.
on the subject of double Price of Progress to the dome. In other news, it looks like Star City Games writer Matt Costa made it to the finals of Grand Prix Baltimore.
Congratulations,
Matt.
Matt.
On the other side
Good
of the
luck.
bracket, Jackie Lee, Star City Games Alterist, is who does Alterist at the Star City Games Opens, is playing for the finals as well and guaranteed a flight to Pro Tour Barcelona, or Pro Tour Avacyn Restored. Looks like a suspended Rift Bolt for Anthony. Jeff untapped with his 2 non-basics. We're looking at these prices potentially getting completely out of hand. That's one of the really dangerous things. You know, Windswept Heath, 19. Is he going to fetch a basic? Let's see.
If Jackie Lee wins, is this going to be a first for a Grand Prix?
I don't know. Michelle Bush would be the only other woman I can think of.
Top 8. Michelle top 8, and she did not win.
Yeah, Mary Jacobson and Jackie Lee were both first in the Swiss at the end of the respective tournaments in the past few weeks. So Jeff is going to fetch up a basic Plains, opting to play around this price. His hand looks pretty good, actually. He has a Stoneforge Mystic that he doesn't want to run into this Rift Bolt. But he's got some Swords to Plowshares. He's got a lot of action here. Swords to Plowshares is actually really good in this matchup with the ability to target your own guys, especially Knight of the Reliquary. Just some way to interact, some way to do something against this burn deck.
Our plucky reporter from the floor, Glenn Jones. Mud is up game 1.
Elves kept no lands and bricked. Scavenging Ooze.
The Ooze. That's a life gain card.
Big thumbs up in the background from Robert Vaca, who wanted to play 4 Oozes today, but only summoned up the courage to play 3 in his main deck.
Hellspark is going to get Swords. Now, one of the things that Anthony
and the Rift Bolt went to the Scavenging Ooze because of that Hellspark. So, Anthony's has not successfully gotten damage in this game, and that could be a very big issue starting now.
Anthony, one of the things Anthony's deck is choosing to do here, he's choosing to go for fast damage rather than the potential for long damage.
Yes.
And there's always a trade-off here in the burn list in which direction you want to go. If you're ever building a burn list on your own for Legacy, try not to go both directions at once. It's not a good plan.
Either Sworn Canonist after the Hierarch, so you aren't locked out of casting. Actually, Canonist is an artifact. Strike that. Not how that works.
Bolt you.
Bolt the Canonist.
We're seeing the control
Bolt
version.
Lava Spike you. Jeff Cosgrove down to 13 life already.
13 life. I believe we saw 2 Price of Progresses in hand. That is a virtual 5.
Yeah, that is very, very close to dead. The Stoneforge Mystic puts a clock on Anthony, but he has 2 cards in hand, might be 2 price. This could get interesting.
You said it was we know 1 price. Is it 2 price?
Yeah, 2 prices.
Okay.
Stoneforge. Finding, I think he wants.
I want GT here. I just think the cheapness of it, just to get it into play.
You don't need another.
Because I mean, if your Mystic doesn't live, the Batterskull might not come down.
Yeah, both of them. I think you could GT and just put it into play now.
Yes,
Like,
exactly.
It just comes
Do it.
into play.
Put it down.
Next turn, you get to equip it to something. It doesn't really matter. Probably the Mystic. The disposable body instead of the one that makes mana. Let's see.
What you got, Jeff?
Definitely GT though.
Well, we both think it's GT. What does he think?
Could just be Batterskull because it's probably the best one against. Yep.
He
If he
goes
has
for the
another land that he
Batterskull.
wants. If he plays another land, this gets really interesting. Nope.
I think that's an attack for 2.
Down to 21. Anthony main facing this lightning bolt might actually be relevant. Just you. Just you. I really don't want to. I don't want to wait just now. That's always the sign that you're dead. When they start throwing lightning bolts at you during their main phase.
Oh boy, there's a chain lightning there.
Ooh. Kill that Mystic.
No, if he's got a price, I guess it's not dead yet.
Yeah, it's too short. Oh, he could play for the kill though. Ooh.
It's so close. It's just not quite.
Actually, I'd just play for the. He has to draw one. Let's see. He has as outs 1, 2, 3, 4 lava spikes. 1, 2, 3, 4 chain lightnings. 1, 2, 3, 4 lightning bolts. He's already used a lot of these. I like going his 8 outs. I like. Oh, he's going for the face. That is to the dome. Oh wow. He also has Jeff dead if he plays a non-basic though. So I don't know. Actually, I like bolting the Mystic because Jeff has to have a non-basic, and Fire Blast is also not, I guess. He has to have a non-basic here to cast the Batterskull if the Stoneforge Mystic dies, and that puts him into the same sort of dead to a burn spell range as this play does.
Just imagine if there was a GT in play.
Disaster. Dried Arbor.
In for
2.
In for 3.
Oh, 3 now. Wow. Does Jeff have a swords in his hand? That would be really good right here. Oh, what?
Whoa, Anthony! What did you just do? He just didn't. He did not price at the end of the turn there.
Ooh, that could be a costly mistake.
I think he just gave up a path.
Let's see. Batterskull.
Batterskull. I think this game just ended.
Yeah, these burn decks, 4 life is a lot of life.
It's going to be 6 life after the nobles get in on the exalted. He could even make it more life if he were to choose to do so. Attacks for 6.
6, so much life. 6 is basically 2 free cards. That just attacked, and Anthony just bricked 2 draw steps.
And what you want to do when you're going down a path, you don't want to change that path midstream with certain kinds of strategies.
Yes.
So once he made the decision to commit, there's a price. This might be.
There's a price of progress.
Oh boy, that's 4 damage.
It's not enough. Not going to be enough.
Well, we'll see. It's probably not enough. Lava Spike, take 3.
I'm trying to think of combinations of cards that Anthony could have here that deal with us gaining 6 next turn.
Does he have? Not yeah. That's
he has
that's
2 cards
it.
in hand, I think, and that can not deal 9 no matter what. Jeff goes up to 50. Anthony's just probably dead.
Price you take 4.
I want to know what his card drawn for that turn was. If he could have gotten there without the price, or I just want to see what it was.
If it was that spike that he had in his hand, he could have had the win.
Yeah, I don't think it was the spike.
I don't think it was the spike either. It's the last card in his hand right now is what it is.
Yes, he would have cast it if it was the spike. I just want to know. It doesn't matter because he didn't make the play, but I just want to know.
Whatever it is in his hand, like right now he's got 1 card in his hand. It's that one.
Probably.
Are we going to see another Mystic?
4? That's 4. Just passing the turn. Probably has a swords in hand. Just like, I'll gain 4 life if something wild happens.
Yeah, not enough for Anthony to make it happen.
So moving to a game 3 over here between Junk and Burn, off the back of a stuck Stoneforge Mystic that put in a Batterskull.
Game 3. It's going to be Tony Phoneuf with Burn on the play. Obviously, his hope is for the turn 1 Goblin Guide.
Yes.
Getting
Goblin
him
Guide-
that much free damage.
Standard everyday red deck hope. Draw a turn 1 Goblin Guide enough, and you could be a national champion.
It's true. It's true. You know, Goblin Guide is one of those cards that I found so hilarious when people were giving their reviews of the set. Like, I remember my favorite review was Paolo Vitor Rosa saying, "This card is terrible."
He would. Okay, you cannot take any aggressive card review from him at all. This card is not a draw card, counterspell, or combo card.
And I just remember thinking to myself, I think you are wrong.
I first looked at the preview and I'm like, wait. So it's a 1-mana 2/2 haste. And it's a telepathy? What is this?
Right?
It's a 1-mana 2/2 haste with an upside.
It has a special ability.
Yeah. I always say this, like we're looking at like Grave Crawler today, and this guy, like Diregraph Ghoul, and I'll never forget like looking at they had it's like Vapor Ops test, when someone would apply for Wizards back in the day around like Onslaught, they give them this test, what do you think of these cards? What's wrong with them? If there's something wrong, would you print this put this as printed? One of the cards was just red 2/1, can't block, and the response was, this card is too good to see print, way too good. And now we just have like red 2/2 haste, see your opponent's hand as they draw it. 1 black 2/2 or 2/1 can't block, never gonna die ever. Just recast it whenever you want. I'm just like, things have changed.
The pushing the power of the creatures.
Pushing the power of creatures, yeah. That's the other thing, if someone hasn't played Magic, like, oh man, I haven't played since like Urza's Block. I haven't played since like Onslaught. You show them Goblin Guide, they're like,
yeah, I mean,
what?
One of the things I showed you earlier yesterday was the George Baxter Deep Magic book that I brought with me to this event. And looking at some of the old decks in there, one of the decks, a really important one from way back in the day, is the House of Pain deck. House of Pain running Org ×4. That's red 3 for a 6/6 trampler. But he's not as big as he thinks. If you have a 2 power or bigger creature, he will not attack. He will not block.
If your opponent does, at least.
If your opponent has a, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man. What was the 2/1 Ak? Ak was the 2 power, the 2-drop 4/4 version of that. So
Ak needed a big friend to go with him. Org was scared of anything small, anything that wasn't small. Now, that's the thing, right? A 5-mana 6/6 with a terrible drawback was an incredible creature. And now, I mean, it's just a different world.
What about like Goblins of the Floor, the original slide decks?
Yeah, I mean,
1/1 with a drawback. You play dwarves in your deck.
And you know what? That deck did play dwarves because it needed to.
It's 6. We'll tell the story after this game, but Chapin's 6/6 card red deck from the Tolarian Academy Pro Tour.
Anthony Phoneuf
on the play this game. Looks like we might have a mulligan here. Jeff going down to 6 cards as they're shuffling. So the idea of this deck, the 6/6 card red deck, was that the Academy decks had this sort of limit on how high they could Stroke of Genius you for. And the calculated limit was somewhere over 600 cards. But you may as well go for style points. You just played all the red 1-drops in the format, all the burn spells, and got to about 600 and some cards of Dwarven ponies, and beat your opponent down with 1/1s, and they had no way in their deck of killing you. You, of course, were very bad against everything else but Academy. But it was Academy. So turn 1 Rift Bolt suspended from Anthony.
Okay, in the other match, Lodestone Golem on turn 2, Lodestone Golem on turn 3, and a Powder Keg on turn 1. It's pretty rough for elves against that.
This might be a Mud Burn Finals.
And we're going to see
Mono
Burn.
Red. Another Rift Bolt. First one went to the face. Jeff has a basic planes in play. Second one might just delay a Stoneforge a turn. We'll see. Verdant Catacombs down to 16.
Virtual 13.
Yep. Let's see. 3/3, 4/8. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of the math on all these burn spells if the 1 life actually matters. Anthony actually is a 1-lander, it looks like here. So that's one of those interesting things. Like with these burn decks, you keep this 1-lander with all this burn. Are you gonna be able to cast it all before you die?
Important note. These are the only 2 basic lands in Jeff Cosgrove's list.
Ooh, no basic swamp to go for these Thoughtseizes. Noble Hierarch on 2 with a white up. Leaving up swords just in case of a Goblin Guide. Bolt you. 13. Still over, the 1 damage. 3 1-drops and,
Well, there's a pillar.
There's a
Interesting.
Pyrostatic Pillar. He's going to opt to leave up Lightning Bolt, sort of taking a cue from last game. Yes, if he plays a Mystic, I want to kill it on the spot. Let's see. Jeff could also just have a Sword or a GT in his hand and get there this game. Let's see. Wasteland. Still a land. Taps her mana. Kills a Barbarian Ring.
Wasteland kills one of his own dual lands
That's very
to save
true.
things.
He can
so.
sack itself in response. There's a Stoneforge Mystic. Resolves. What are you getting?
I still like what he didn't do last game. I like GT.
Yeah, we'll see. We might have to quiet down a little here as people start filtering out.
Yeah, we are running out of enough people here in the hall to be able to make us be able to speak loudly as we'd like, and so we've got to be careful about making sure we don't give away plays to the people across the room.
Mm-hmm. Give away info, give away cards in hand. Anything like that would be a bad idea. Bolt the Mystic. Batterskull in hand. If Jeff has a 5th land, though, that bolt is just very temporary. Anthony, this could also be just a junk Mud Finals.
And we're pretty sure that Junk might just tear up Mud, just with all of the ways it reacts to the other deck. Just could be a very rough one.
Interactive cards.
We got Lava Spike.
3 to the face. 10. Oh wow, this is.
I think we're gonna see a chain. Chain.
You, come on, you, target you.
Chain.
You, yeah.
Down to 7.
Jeff Cosgrove, a Fire Blast and a Lightning Bolt away from potential death, if that is what Anthony has. This Pyrostatic Pillar not really doing what he wants it to. Jeff's sort of sitting there thinking over his options. He has another land. Has to be a non-basic. But does he want to extend into the range of Price Fire Blast?
According to George Baxter's book Deep Magic, Burn is one of the 5 archetypes of magic. So we're still seeing that this is the case. 16 years later.
This was before the internet.
It was before the internet.
It's back in the days of IRC, basically the caveman
I don't
era of the
even.
internet.
I don't even know if Magic players even talked on IRC yet. I think they
wow.
might have just talked on Usenet.
The actual Stone Age of the internet, carving out your little caves. Jeff Cosgrove debating what he wants to do here.
Bayou, ouch. Casting the
Batterskull.
Batterskull.
Okay, Anthony basically has 1 turn here. Does he have it?
Zot.
Shattering Spree for the Batterskull.
Ooh, take that, Batterskull.
Goblin Guide.
Goblin Guide! Here he comes, late to the party, but who cares?
Reveals a Noble Hierarch.
Take
Jeff goes
2,
to
you're at 5.
2 burn spells away from death.
That was exciting.
That Goblin Guide, listen, sometimes just shocking them once is good enough. Oh, and also seeing that they have a Noble Hierarch. Let's see. Let's see. 1.
There's a Hierarch number 2.
These guys are just going to step in the way of this Goblin Guide. Hierarch. Is that an attack?
Attack for 2.
That is a gutsy attack for 2.
Oh, man. We got that fat pyrostatic pillar in the hand. Oh.
The hard lock. Land. Attack with Guide. Take a peek. What do you
What you got on top?
I want to know. Swords.
Pretty good card.
Ooh. Swords in the Guide. That's a fire.
I said a pyrostatic pillar and a pyroblast.
Ooh,
So
go.
please, Jeff Cosgrove, cast a card.
Yeah. And be my guest.
Oh, what's he doing? Did he just fireblast now? He didn't have to do that.
Yeah, he didn't have to.
He didn't have to do that. Okay, but what are the paths out?
Green Sun Zenith.
Green Suns for a lot to get an ooze to gain back out.
Green Suns for news. Green Suns for a night and just kill you, but that might be a little short. He can only play Green Suns Zenith. That is the last card in his deck that is castable at this point.
Yeah, literally every card else in his deck. The only
Sun's-
spell he can cast is Green Sun Zenith.
For Scavenging Ooze.
That
Or you
is-
can just hope to use the standstill to his advantage, or the pseudo standstill, and just sort of Noble Hierarch. Hope I'm gonna hit you for the 10 turns and you don't draw burn spells. It is possible. He could draw them 10 mountains over the next 10 turns. Could draw all Price of Progress, Fire Blast, Prior Stack Pillars, Shattering Sprees, and maybe a Rift Bolt on that last turn, which isn't good enough. Yeah, actually, Jeff only does have to attack 9 times with his Noble Hierarch. Then Anthony will be locked out with his own Pyrostatic Pillar. He should not have Fire Blasted. This Fire Blast took out his... He can no longer draw Flame Rift for lethal.
And I think that we see Jeff here.
Trying to figure out if he can pull the old Mana Barbs trick on this thing. But
twirling away
Jeff
as he contemplates the death of his opponent.
Jeff asking probably, how does this work if I source my own guy? I just die, right? Yep. Not what I wanted to hear. So yeah, he's quite a bind. He doesn't even have a man land. He has a Dried Arbor. Dried Arbor's around. He could draw Dried Arbor, start 3 a turn. That's a better clock. Anthony just drew a land. Hellbent. Jeff's out is probably now Green Sun Zenith at the top, or 9 more lands, or 8 more lands on top of Tony's deck. His choice. Let's see. Let's see.
Wow.
What?
Okay, so Mud loses with the turn 2 Lodestone, turn 3 Lodestone. We're going to a game 3 for Elves.
Let's see. He's going to wasteland his own land in response to a Price of Progress. All basics now. Is there going to be a Green Sun Zenith? X equals 3 getting this ooze. It'd be really awkward if he just drew the ooze. That would be terrible. Wow, this just might be it. Just Anthony's breaking and Jeff is just pinging away. That was 2 damage to that Price of Progress. Anthony just took a turn off his clock. This is so weird. Don't do it. Nope, don't do it. Nope, don't. Oh. Oh, this is the Zenith. Why did you? No, you didn't want to. You didn't want to play the scrub land. You didn't want to do it. You just wanted to get Scavenging Ooze into play. You just wanted to get into play. You're now in death range to a now dead to a price. You didn't want to do it. No. No, you want to
No.
Oh no. Oh, was that +5? Maybe you didn't want the use.
We'll see. We'll see.
That is huge. That is Anthony locked out. Anthony has 1 draw step now to actually get anywhere. But I don't. Oh, was that the slow roll?
And
Jeff trying to pull some Jedi mind tricks here.
yeah,
And,
Pyrostatic
casually
Pillar,
dying.
you are dead.
It's just like yeah.
Yeah, the triggered
Yeah,
ability.
okay.
There we go. Anthony Phoneuf defeats Jeff Cosgrove.
2-1. Yeah, trying to see if maybe you'll just scoop to the swords and